What's up, you guys? It's a beautiful day. We're definitely in the full swing of things. With autumn, there's a bunch of leaves on the ground. The trees are yellow. The air is nice and crispy, but we still have some sunshine. And so it's that nice blend of, being cold but not too cold, and also having that warmth when your face hits the sun without it being overbearingly hot. Autumn is my favorite season, but that's not what I wanted to talk about today. I wanted to talk about how a lot of people seem to be incapable of making real human connections these days. You attempt to have a genuine conversation with somebody and they don't know how to do that. They're so attached to their distractions and they're so attached to their devices, and everybody's just so superficial, and nobody seems to appreciate quality people anymore. Like, where are the good quality people? Because I can't seem to find them. Just to give you a little bit of insight, I'm an introvert. I enjoy my own company. I find it very exhausting to have conversations with people unless if I'm genuinely interested in the topic or interested in the person. I don't like to entertain petty gossip and drama. I like to have conversations that are centered around me being better and me doing better in life. I believe in having productive conversations, and most people don't want that. Most people, they want to talk about sports, or they want to talk about this beef between celebrities. And in my opinion, I can't figure out why people care about that stuff. Why do you care? Like, celebrities, they don't know you by name. They don't care about your life. They don't care about what's going on with you. And half the time it's fake anyway. Like, it's staged, or, you know, it's not even that serious. Like, they're rich. Most celebrities, they don't worry about the typical things that most people worry about. Common people concern themselves with things that don't matter. It has no direct relation to, increasing the quality of their life. But they love it. They eat it up. They identify with it. And it just doesn't make any sense to me. It gets so exhausting when all you want is real human connection, but everybody around you, they're asleep. They're so rooted in their programming and they can't even see it. When you try to talk about the things that matter, like what do you believe your purpose in life is, or how do you feel like what do you feel is the best way for you to spend your time here on earth, or in this realm, or however you want to call it. When you try to have conversations about holding yourself accountable for all of your shortcomings and flaws, people don't want to talk about that kind of stuff. A lot of people don't know how to face themselves in the mirror. They don't know how to really and truly look at themselves and dissect themselves. And through dissecting themselves, they can then build themselves up. They can remove all of the things about themselves they don't like, and they can replace them with better qualities. They don't want to do that. They prefer to keep their heads in the sand. And while you're able to acknowledge things for what they are, and while you like to have the hard conversations, you like to have the deep conversations, but for them it's tedious, or it's scary, it's a challenge. They don't want to do that. And so you're labeled as the weird one. You're weird for wanting to have conversations about what actually matters. Why are we here? What are we doing? But no, most people, they just want to get up, start their same monotonous routines, hop in their cars, sit in some long drawn out commute to work, go to work, and entertain bullshit superficial relationships with the people that they work with. And they do this because you don't really have a choice. You see these people every day, and they're basically in the same boat as you, as far as everybody shows up to work because they need a paycheck, right? And so you may as well, talk to these people, not because you want to, or not because you would talk to these people under any other circumstances, but you're doing it because you're forced to be around one another. You're forced to see your coworkers every day, right? And then, you know, you do the same thing in the evening time. You hop in your car, you sit in bullshit traffic, you go home, and then you take your brain off, you hang it up in the closet, and then you commit to the same mindless routine that you do every single day. Instead of trying to figure out how to liberate yourself from the hamster wheel, you choose to distract yourself with whichever vice you choose, whether it be getting drunk, getting high, doing coke, any kind of substance abuse. It could be you watching CORN. Some people they use sex as a way to cope with their reality instead of doing something about their reality. Instead of trying to fix the problem, instead of going to the root of it, you prefer to pacify yourself with all of these activities that won't make your life any better. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Now, there's nothing inherently wrong with watching TV. There's nothing necessarily wrong with going to a concert. There's nothing necessarily wrong with having a drink or getting high. But it's about priorities. Like, if you would have done what you needed to do years ago, you would have already liberated yourself from this narrative that you're still trying to numb yourself to. You would have already set yourself free, so you don't have to do these things to make yourself feel better. If you would actually build a life that you're happy to live, you wouldn't have to find ways to cope. But first, you have to acknowledge the fact that you're using all of these things to cope. Your vices are symptoms of a greater underlying issue. You have to acknowledge that. That's where it starts. But you can only meet people where they're at. And truthfully, a lot of people, they're comfortable where they're at. They don't want to grow. They don't want to change. They don't want to do better. They don't want to undo all of the negative programming. They don't want to unlearn and relearn. They don't want to do away with all of the negative programming that other people have subjected them to and reprogram themselves. They don't want that responsibility. They don't want that headache. They don't want to be bothered. They're comfortable in their bullshit reality. They're comfortable. And I guess that's just what it is, you know? And this is why I genuinely feel like people say it's lonely at the top. It's not about money. It's about mentality. It's not about money. It's about mentality. In order to reach a particular caliber of success, it requires you to think in a certain way. And if not very many people know how to think in this way, then you're going to be alone in your thinking. You're going to be alone. It's going to be difficult for you to come across other people that think like you. It's going to be difficult to come across people with a similar perspective on life. There are people that are actually living life in a way where they are the cause instead of the effect. There are people that are actually in the world rather than being a product of the world. There are people that rise above their problems, rise above their circumstances, rather than giving into a victim mentality. And the world belongs to those that create it. So if you're not creating the world, or if you're not creating your world, you're living in somebody else's world. So the best thing you can do for yourself is to assume responsibility. Do the hard things. Get off your ass and do the hard things. When you wake up to this understanding, it's going to lead to you being some variety of lonely. Because when you see it this way, you can't unsee it. When you wake up, you can't go back to sleep. And the only thing that you'll be left with of this feeling of inadequacy, because you know that you're living beneath your potential. You know that you're not exercising your full potential. You're going to feel like shit because you know you're not living in your purpose. And no amount of coping mechanisms is going to change that. So that's why you need to face facts. If you choose the hard decisions, you live an easy life. If you choose the easy decisions, you live a hard life. It's up to you. Anyway, I hope you found value in my little rant. I had to say it because I know that there's other people out there that are experiencing the same things as me. I'm not special. We're all cut from the same cloth. We're all one. I'm just a drop in the ocean. We all come from the same source, whatever you may believe in, God, the universe, whatever you believe in. We all come from the same source. So I hope you have a great day. I hope wherever you are, if you're in an area like me where you experience all 4 seasons, I hope you're enjoying autumn as much as I am. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.